On paper, Crash Team Rumble doesn't seem like it should work. It's a team-based, competitive platformer that breaks a lot of the rules we associate with other multiplayer games like it. It may sound strange, but it comes together in surprisingly fun fashion, thanks largely to its excellent map design. Toys for Bob's multiplayer take on Crash Bandicoot is one unique and tasty fruit, but it only comes in the one flavor, and its character balance could use some work. Rumble's 4-on-4 matches pit teams of iconic Crash Bandicoot characters against each other. There are currently 8 to choose from, each broken into one of 3 archetypes. Scorers, Crash, Tawna, and Catbat. Blockers, Dingodile, Dr. Embryo, and Dr. Entropy. And boosters, Coco and Dr. Neocortex. Every character is fun to play, and they all feel very different, even if they come from the same archetype. Capturing gems is essential because they provide a significant scoring boost in the race to collect 2,000 Wumpa Fruit before the other team, and common relic stations are nice power-ups. But the real game changers are the epic relic stations. There's only one of these on each map, and the rewards for holding it are enormous. The City Scrape map summons TNT drones that chase your enemies. Serenity Gardens gets you a big bonsai full of Wumpa Fruit. Others summon dragons, spaceships, sandstorms, there's a lot. Best of all, each one is specifically tailored to its map's themes and design. Matches start out as races to capture as many gems as possible and build early leads, then turn into ongoing battles over Wumpa, relic stations, and gems when they pop back up again. But the whole time you have interesting choices to make. Do you go all in on the epic relic stations or focus on getting a lot of little ones? If the other team looks like they might snag the epic relic station before you do you try to catch up or focus on scoring and playing defense? It's common to see teams get steamrolled because they couldn't capture any gems, but then make huge comebacks because they focused on scoring while the other team put too much emphasis on getting relics. Each match is fun because you never know how a game will go, and you're never truly out of it until you lose. And the whole thing only takes about 5 minutes. Picking your team composition beforehand matters too, because you can't change your mind once the match starts. A favorite is Dingodile.
Don't mess with Dingodile.
His vacuum sucks up Wumpas and enemies from afar, his spin attack hits hard, and he's pretty tanky. That said, a team of 4 Dingodiles probably isn't a good idea because his mobility is limited and you'd have a hard time catching up to faster characters. Locking in a character doesn't mean you're stuck doing one thing though. Everyone can perform every role, and they're all different. Tawna has a grappling hook for zooming around the map and pulling herself to enemies. Dr. Entropy can hover and create energy balls that knock opponents away, and Coco's shields can keep other players off of platforms. Everybody feels useful, which is a good thing because you only start with Crash, Dingodile, and Coco available. Unlocking characters isn't the worst thing in the world, but it does lead to some issues. The big one is that some characters just seem better than others, and a lot of those are the ones you have to unlock. Tawna moves faster than Crash can dream of, and she has better options in combat. Catbat can fly, heal themselves and their allies, and constantly dive bomb enemies from the air. Sure, they have the lowest health of the scorers, but low health doesn't matter when no one can catch you or knock you off the map. The other 2 archetypes have the same issue. There's a reason you see Coco in almost every match. A good player can take over a game and is almost impossible to KO. This problem is most noticeable in the blocker role, however. The best character of that group is easily Dr. Entropy, who has excellent mobility, good damage, and high health. And the only check on her power is that it takes way too long to unlock her. Gathering 15 scorer or booster badges is enough to unlock the next character in the other archetypes, but unlocking Dr. Entropy means accumulating a whopping 50 blocker badges. The unlock system isn't a deal breaker, but it is annoying that the bar is set so high to even try out all of them. Separate from the character selection, every player can choose a power that charges up throughout the match. The Wumpa stash builds up over time once you activate it, letting you score big when you turn in Wumpa if you can stay alive long enough. One of the most used, for reasons that become obvious very quickly, is the Gasmoxian Guard. Its lightning pulses are great for holding areas or playing keep away. It's not unusual to steal games by saving it until the last second and using it to knock the entire enemy team off your bank, allowing you to score for the win. The issue, again, is that some are just better than others, and the unlock conditions are less than ideal. You earn new powers over time by turning in relics at relic stations, but some require you to activate common relic stations, and others need epic relic stations. So you have a choice: play the long game to unlock powers like the Wumpa Stash, which are quite good for use in later matches, or spend your relics in a way that's more likely to win the game you're in. It's rough. One of the best things about Crash Team Rumble, though, is its map design. The maps call back to old-school arena shooters like Quake or Halo. Developing routes that maximize your Wumpa pickups, relic collection, gem activation, and drop-offs along the way feels as crucial to winning as knowing where and when weapons will spawn. And while usually there's a stinker or two in any multiplayer game's map rotation, every map in Crash Team Rumble is distinct and fun to play. Some have a lot of tall structures and are cut into different segments. Others are flat and open, inviting all-out brawls. The more vertical maps like Surreal Summit and Insanity Caverns stand out, but none of them is anything to complain about when it comes up in the rotation. 9 maps may not seem like a lot, but Toys for Bob has done a great job making colorful, creative, and memorable environments to explore in your battle for Wumpa Fruit. Naturally, there's a battle pass, and each character can also be leveled up individually by completing challenges. Either way, the reward is the same: cosmetics. Even if you're not normally a fan of stuff like this, you have to admit that Crash Team Rumble does it better than most games. It's fun to dress Dingodile up like a hockey player, equip Tana with a teddy bear backpack, or give Coco a pirate hat. When you've spent a lot of time with these characters, going into a match knowing they're yours, not a carbon copy of someone else's, definitely adds something. What truly holds Crash Team Rumble back from greatness, though, is a lack of alternate game modes. There's a tutorial, practice matches, private matches for friends, and competitive matches. That's it. Crash Team Rumble is a lot of fun, and it's easy to get into the just one more match cycle that leads to staying up until 3 in the morning, but not even the best games can survive a lack of variety for long. Crash Team Rumble may not be a traditional Crash game, but it is a fun one. Some characters and powers definitely seem to be stronger than others because the community brings them into every single match, but everything and everyone is viable in the right hands. Matchmaking is a breeze, the maps are absolutely incredible, there's a lot of depth, and it's easy to lose yourself in the hunt for Wumpa Fruit for hours at a time, especially if you're playing with friends. Even the cosmetic upgrades are fun to mess around with, but those hours come to a close a bit too soon due to a lack of game modes, limited matchmaking options, and an unlock system that is often just downright annoying. That leaves Crash Team Rumble feeling a lot like Wumpa Fruit itself. It's a great snack, and it's got a lot of flavor, but you'll probably be hungry again 30 minutes later. For more, check out our reviews of Street Fighter VI and Starship Troopers Extermination. And for everything else, stick with IGN.